Yo, what's going on, Fragrance family? It's your man Gator, better known as the Novice Nose out here in these fragrance streets. And today I wanted to come to you guys with the review of a fragrance that I have been waiting to talk to you guys about, right? I picked it up maybe about a month or so ago. I'd heard about it maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It is inspired by a fragrance that I was really digging, man, when I put my nose on it, from a house that will not be named because they have been doing a lot of mafioso type stuff online. It's got a lot of reviewers shook, so I'm not even gonna mention their names. I'll just say that they have been doing some pretty good work as far as like with their citrus and summer scents, and this one is really no different than that. Like I said, I first heard about it maybe about 2 to 3 months ago. I think TLTG has done videos on it. I know Vegas Scents, shout out to Jamar, has been doing videos on it, just kind of putting the word out on this particular fragrance. I got it maybe, like I said, maybe about a month or so ago. When I first got it, it was a little bit light in the ass, so went ahead and emptied the clip on it, threw it in maceration for about a month, and when I pulled it out, it actually smelled a lot like what I was envisioning when I would listen to these reviewers talk about this particular fragrance. Now, the fragrance in question is Lucianno Coastal Breeze. Now, this is the bottle, of course, Lucianno Coastal Breeze. Let me see if I can get a good... There we go. All right, now, like I said, with the bottles, if you know, you know. But as you see, they got a nice little dent in here because you know that when I do fragrance stuff, I will decant it out, but I will also wear these things a few times before I even talk to you about them, so I can give you a true, idea of what performance looks like in multiple different conditions, usually in the office, usually out and about, and how these things perform in different scenarios, right? No exception with this one, man. I wore it around a good little bit, and man, I fell in love with it. First thing I want to do, before I even get into the notes, one of the things that I love about this particular fragrance, and not even the fragrance itself, it's the bottle, it's the atomizer. Watch this. I love this. So it's got a nice even distribution on that, and it is nice. I love the way that it functions, man. So it gets a 10 out of 10 for me on the sprayer, man. On the atomizer. I love it. By the way, setting this down on top of the Atlas review, this is a review that I am putting out soon, so you guys stay tuned, man. I actually am probably going to work on this review right after editing this review right after I do this particular review for Coastal Breeze. But anyway, so let me give you the notes on this thing, right? Because I know you guys have already heard about the fragrance that is clothing, right? And you've probably heard about this one. You've heard different things about it online. So the notes are citron. Top notes are citron, orange, mint, lemon, blackcurrant, and coriander. Middle notes are apricot, basil, carrot seeds, and May rose. And then the base notes are figs, dates, and ambrette. So it basically goes, the note breakdown goes along the lines of the OG. When it comes to that, you heard me list all the notes. You get all of them in there, but it is dominated. This fragrance is dominated by the apricot and mint, right? Especially the apricot. You pick up the citron, you pick up the apricot, and you pick up the mint in the top. You do pick up the black currant a little bit in there, and it helps to smooth it out. But I will tell you this, the black currant is a little less pronounced in this than it is in the OG, at least to my nose. It seems a little bit, and I have that decant hanging around here, and I was trying to find it earlier, but I think it got up and walked away. So, but yeah, so the black currant's a little less pronounced in this one off the top, but man, when I say that it is a gorgeous scent, man, it is subtly sweet. It has a great deal of this fruity sweetness. One of my coworkers described it because I was, at work the other day, and I passed by him, and he was like, "Man, what are you wearing, man? That smells great." He was like, "It smells like a masculine fruit bowl." I will co-sign that description because that's what you get when you first spray this on. You get that fruitiness that apricot brings around a different style of fruit. It's not just like a citrus that you're getting. It is something that's kind of unique. So it's not like your standard freshie that you would smell. It's got a little bit of a different twist on it, and it won't smell like a lot of the other stuff that is out there that is really summertime popular. So, you know, it's got that in there. You get, like I said, a little bit of the mint. You get the coriander to give it a little bit of that airiness, to electrify it a little bit, right? And then, of course, you get the citron. All that stuff kind of smooths it out a good bit. But like I said, that mid note of apricot is really the superstar of this particular fragrance, and it stays in this fragrance throughout the life of it. Speaking of life, this fragrance actually, on skin, it lasts right around 5 hours. To be completely honest, the OG was kind of similar as far as like how long it lasted, but performance-wise, it is not the most stellar when it comes to that. However, I will say that for the price, that's not that bad of a thing. You can find it on Fragrance Buy normally for around, $36 to $40, right? It does last pretty well on clothes though. So if you're going to spray this and you want it to last a little bit longer, put it on your clothes. I have a shirt that's hanging up there right now that's about to go into the laundry bin, and I actually wore the fragrance last night, and I hung it up because I was about to put it down there because it got wet, and you can still pick up the fragrance on it. So when you put it on clothes, it does have a little bit of lasting power. Maybe not the projection, but it does have a little bit of lasting power on clothes. Speaking of projection, man, hit your hot points with this one because it really does push off your skin. The mintiness and the apricot, it does kind of push off. It's got a good sillage on it. I would say about a good solid 3 hours of sillage. But as you get warmer, as you start moving, man, this stuff really does, start pushing. That mint comes back and it definitely leaves a trail behind you. So keep that in mind, man. Hit those hot points with this one, and make sure you spray your clothes, give it a little bit more longevity. And you know how I do. I keep a decan on the product with me anytime. Sorry, all the time, I should say. So as far as the way it smells compared to the OG, as far as closeness goes, I give it a good 85 to 90%. It actually is really close. There is going to be a little bit more of a syntheticness about this one. The OG is got a natural, almost pepperminty type of vibe to it in the mint. This one has the mint, but it does come across as kind of almost a little bit more synthetic of a mint. The apricot comes a little bit, it's not photorealistic. It's not as good as far as photorealistically as the OG is in this particular scenario, but you can't, the OG is $400. This one is right at $40. So it's close enough. And in the air, you really can't tell the difference between them as far as, what you're paying for this as opposed to what you're paying for the OG. This is not only worth the price of admission, but I would say that I would prefer dropping coins on this 2-3 times because the longevity is not there. And don't get me wrong, the longevity on the OG isn't there either. It's right around 7 to 8 hours, same performance. This one is maybe about an hour or two less, right? So I would rather, spend buy a couple of bottles of this than buy one bottle of the OG and be looking sick when it runs out. So all in all, man, I want to give this fragrance a good 9. This is going to be another one. I've got a few of my fragrances that I've discovered this year that are going to be summertime staples for me. This one is definitely going to be one. I've worn it, like I said, as you can see. Y'all don't even have to say it. You can see it. I've worn it quite a few times now, and I love it. I think it's one of the more exciting releases for this year, and I'm looking forward to more of the stuff that Lucianno, the House of Lucianno has. I've got a Magnitude, which is another fragrance that they've done in there right now. It is coming out of maceration. I'll be, trying that one out in a little bit too. But man, be on the lookout for this house. They seem to be. I've heard they got a good a good clone of another fragrance that house that shall not be named has. So I am looking forward to. It's called Sunset Swim. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting my hands on that too. In any event, man, let me know what you think about it. I would say this is definitely a great buy. Baby Boo loves it. I've gotten plenty of compliments on this thing, but it is definitely one of those fragrances that people perk their ears up and perk their noses up when you pass by. It is definitely worth, looking into, man. In any event, that's all I got for you today. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this channel with somebody you know that loves fragrances, and get down in the comments, man. Start talking to me about it. Give me your opinions. What did you think of this particular fragrance? Have you smelled it yet? Do you need to smell it? I might be able to help you with that. So just let me know, man, what you think about this particular fragrance. And until I talk to you guys again, peace out.